That's right, this is the Blue Diamond Ultra Instant George Bailey channel. The one, the only, who surpassed the gods and the angels. Baby. Before we get started, I just want to let you all know that I will be working on the same thing for Sonic. If you guys really want that to happen, comment down below, hashtag Sonic Trains with George. And this is all for the Tails fans out there. This is what will happen if Tails got stronger and trained with George Bailey himself. Tails is sitting in his lab, sad and very, very depressed. We don't know why, but Tails is wondering how Sonic and the others are getting stronger, while he and Knuckles are just trading at a similar level. Is this a way to unlock his potential? No, because Knuckles has to delay this week's training due to him having to go to the Master Emerald. But then something comes up on his computer system that George is in Green Hill, so Tails rushes out and goes to find him. As arriving to Green Hill Zone, George Bailey was just looking around Green Hill until Tails meets up with him and asks what's George doing at Green Hill. George explains he just wants to look around, nothing more. But Tails asks him if he can train him for the nearby future. George, obviously in the original storyline, would probably say no, but Tails has an explanation for why he wants to be trained with George. Tails says that he is at the bottom of the food chain of the godly list. If he ends up getting replaced with someone stronger, he could be off the list temporarily, or permanently forever. George does not like the sound of this idea, as George explains why he doesn't train with others. But Tails shows a sad face and explains why he wants to become stronger. Because he has potential even the gods don't see. Not even the others can think that he's strong. He was defenseless, harmful, and very sad at the time. He had no friends to begin with. He had Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, and Silver, and everyone else, including George. George's face changes a little, and he sees why Tails wants to be stronger. George shakes off the feeling and says, fine. In the blink of an eye, the flick of a finger, George Bailey activates Blue Diamond magic and sends the both of them to the heavenly time world. George explains from here on out we'll be training underneath my rules and my persuasive. So Tails understands the consequences and trains as hard as he can. So basically the heavenly time world is something very sanctuary. It's for people who either died or got resurrected but never came back to Earth. So a second there is a minute. A minute there is an hour. An hour is a day is a week is a month is a year is a century. Holy crap, I know, it's insane. Alright, let's get back to the storyline and get back off topic. After 4 months / 4 years of training, Tails has found a new power to his ultimate game. He has already mastered Super Tails and Super Tails 2 in the shortest of time. Then George has a plan. He decides to go Super Saiyan 3 to test his newest limits. Tails says why is he doing this, but George says this is to test him to see he has full potential inside him. So Tails decides to use Apex Super Tails 2 plus his mastered power to see if he can push himself beyond the limits of the gods. It wasn't much, their battle was a little bit intense, but George had to end it quickly. Tails is very battered up and bruised. As George tells him we're done here, he turns around and says no. Tails' energy spikes up to a new power. Even George didn't see this was going to happen. This also happened in the battle against Nazo, but this is going to be a little different. His power level spikes up to a new level and unlocks his true potential. George is surprised. How did Tails do this in the shortest of time? 4 months / 4 years of training here has done him well. Sonic and Mewtwo arrive on the other side of the world to find out that Tails has been training with George all this time. Sonic is surprisingly proud and very happy to call Tails his brother from another mother. The two of them have been separated from their parents for so long, Sonic can relate to Tails. For the fans of Sonic and Tails, you guys have got to see a good bro moment right here. And then Sonic asks if he wants to fight Tails. The two of them battle. It takes Sonic to use Kaioken times 10, and the two of them show respect for each other after the fight. But then George decides to talk to Sonic for a little bit, while Mewtwo secretly decides to unlock more power on Tails. Now this moment right here is about to be really epic because we never get to see this. Mewtwo says there's more potential inside Tails than before. So he decides to activate his psychic powers and look deeper into his soul. After a good while, Mewtwo says to Tails to activate his power. So he does. But there's something different about his energy. His energy spikes up to a newer level. He adds Super Tails on top of that form. And then he goes into Ultimate Super Tails in his power level. Just spiked to a new level. So we already know that Sonic's Kaioken matches Tails' ultimate form. But what we don't know is Super Tails Ultimate is stronger than Shadow's Super Shadow Evolution. And to believe that it's just on the same level as George's Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Kaioken. When the Battle of Manchester arrives, Tails is now 100% powerful enough to take on Nazo. Following up with Silver and Knuckles behind him, the battle gets a lot more heated. This would mean Nazo has to use more than what he would originally use against Tails. And also Shadow would arrive a lot earlier. But no, he doesn't arrive until Tails is on the edge. So Tails uses his new Ultimate Super Tails form to defeat Nazo, beating him down to a living pulp and then finishing him off with a limit-breaking Kamehameha. Shadow arrives on the scene and sees Tails' new power and asks, "What?" So, Knuckles' training has become much more efficient to your power as I expected. Tails replies with, "No, not really. I've been training with George this entire time in the Heavenly Time World." Shadow is in complete shock when he hears that name and does not believe Tails for a moment. So from here on out, Tails is a lot stronger and he would be able to handle any threat with no problems. If you all haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you all haven't already. Again, hashtag Sonic versus, or hashtag Sonic trains George if you want to see that happen. That is a what if idea on my notifications, or should I say my notes, if you're very Pacific. And, as always, Kamehameha.